Hello everyone, welcome to Business Statistics class. So in the previous video we had seen about standard deviation and also we had seen two properties of standard deviation. So in today's video we will see another important property of standard deviation. Also we will see an important concept, that is coefficient of variation, and we will see problems related to coefficient of variation. So now let us see the property of standard deviation. So the first property was standard deviation is independent of the origin of measurement of the variable but not of the scale. The second property is for any set of values, standard deviation, that is sigma, is greater than or equal to 0, that means it is a positive value. The third property is standard deviation is the least of all root mean square deviations. And the last property is it is known as combined standard deviation. So let us see how to calculate combined standard deviation. So suppose you have a set of n1 values which have mean x1 bar and standard deviation sigma 1, and let another set of n2 values have mean x2 bar and standard deviation sigma 2. Then the standard deviation of the combined set of n1 and n2 values together is, and the formula is sigma is equal to square root of n1 into sigma 1 square plus d1 square plus n2 into sigma 2 square plus d2 square whole divided by n1 plus n2. So this is the formula of combined standard deviation of two set of datas. Here n1 and n2 are the set of values in the first data and n2 is the set of values in the second data. So sigma 1 square is nothing but variance. So if they have given the standard deviation, then you have to take the square of it. And now here in the formula you can see there is d1 square and d2 square. So the formula for d1 square is x1 bar minus x, and the formula for d2 is x2 bar minus x bar, where x bar is equal to n1 into x1 bar plus n2 into x2 bar divided by n1 plus n2. So let us see an example. So the question is, following case relates to the wage distribution of two manufacturing firms A and B. The computed figures are as under. So they have given there is two manufacturing firms A and B, and also they have computed few figures, that is they have given the information such as number of employees. For firm A it is 2500, for firm B it is 3000, and mean wages, which is nothing but x bar. So for firm A it is 4000, for firm B it is 3500. Mode wages, the rupees, it is in terms of rupees. For firm A it is 3750 and for firm B it is 3700, and they have given standard deviation, that is sigma. For firm A it is rupees 250 and for firm B it is rupees 220. So now for this question you have to calculate the combined standard deviation. So this is one of the question from previous year question paper, and this is a case study problem in which a part of a question is for combined standard deviation. So let's see the solution. So we know the formula for combined standard deviation is square root of n1 into sigma 1 square plus d1 square plus n2 into sigma 2 square plus d2 square whole divided by n1 and n2. So from the question we have x1 bar. So let us see the question. So this is your n1, this is your n2, and mean wages it is nothing but x1 bar and this is your x2 bar, and standard deviation is sigma 1 and this is sigma 2. So you have these values. So here we have x1 bar for the first set of data and x2 bar, that is mean, and similarly n1 into sigma 1 and sigma 2, that is standard deviation. So now first let us calculate x bar, because we need x bar in D1 formula. So what is the formula for x bar? That is n1 into x1 bar plus n2 into x2 bar divided by n1 plus n2. So substitute the values. So n1 is 2500 and x1 bar is 4000 plus n2 is 3000 into x2 bar is 3500 in the numerator. So divided by small n1 plus n2. So 2500 plus 3000. So now simplify and you will get x bar as 3727.27. So when you have got the answer of x bar, then you can calculate D1. So the formula for D1 is x1 bar minus x bar. So we have x1 bar value, we have x bar value. So just subtract x1 bar minus x bar. So D1 is 272.72. So but in the formula of combined standard deviation we need D1 square. So you have to square this value. So D1 square is equal to 74380.18. So similarly calculate D2, which is x2 bar minus x bar. We have x2 bar, that is 3500, we have x bar. So substitute and then take the square of the answer. So this is your answer, which is in negative value. When you square it will become positive. So therefore we'll get d square as 51652.88. and then we have sigma 1 and sigma 2, but in the formula you need sigma 1 square and sigma 2 square. So square these values. So you will get sigma 1 square as 62,500 and sigma 2 square as 48,400. So now we have all the required data to substitute in the formula. So just substitute. Therefore sigma is equal to square root of, we have n1 which is 2500, and then you have sigma 1 square d1 square and sigma 2 square d2 square. So substitute all the formulas and then simplify. So therefore your combined standard deviation is rupees 341.75. So this is how you calculate combined standard deviation for any given set of data. So in some cases they will directly give you these values, that is these values. If not, you have to calculate arithmetic mean standard deviation and then substitute in these formulas. So now let us see the next important topic, that is coefficient of variation, which can be denoted as C dot V. So from this particular part you may get even 5 marks questions. Also you may get a case study problem. So now let us see what is coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation is a relative measure of variation. It is used for comparing the variation in frequency distributions. So CV is defined as the ratio of standard deviation to arithmetic mean expressed in percentages. So therefore we can write the formula of coefficient of variation as, so they have said it is the ratio of standard deviation to the arithmetic mean expressed in terms of percentages. So in terms of notations, C dot V is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100, where sigma is your standard deviation and x bar is your arithmetic mean. So in the previous classes we had seen how to calculate standard deviation as well as the mean. So CV is independent of unit of measurement of the values. It is because we know coefficient of variation is a relative measure. So therefore it is independent of unit of measurement. A high value of coefficient of variation indicates high degree of variation and a low value indicates low degree of variation. So we are using coefficient of variation to compare the variation in frequency distribution. So how we are going to interpret is, if the value is high of the CV, we can say there is a lot of variation in that particular set of data, and if the value of CV is low, then we can say there is low degree of variation in that set of data. So we can use this coefficient of variation to decide about the consistency of a given set of data. So we can say if the coefficient of variation is low for a given set of data, then the data is said to be more consistent or more stable or more uniform. So if the coefficient of variation value is high, then we can say the given set of data is less consistent or less stable, or it is not that uniform. So let us see the problems in coefficient of variation. So the first problem is, the following runs are made by two cricketers in 10 innings. So they have given the innings and the runs scored by cricket A and cricketer B. So the question is, which of the two cricketers is a better scorer on an average? Which of them is more consistent? So here, among the two cricketers, the one who has higher arithmetic mean is the better scorer. He who has lesser coefficient of variation is more consistent in scoring. So we had seen in the definition and in the properties of coefficient of variation that if the value of coefficient of variation is low, then we can say that particular set of data is more consistent. In the question A, they have asked which cricketer is a better scorer on an average. So who has higher mean value, we can say he is a better cricketer. So what all we have to calculate is, in the formula of coefficient of variation, we have to calculate the value of standard deviation and also arithmetic mean, and for the first question we have to calculate arithmetic mean. So let us calculate it separately for cricketer A and cricketer B. So for cricketer A, in the question we have the runs given. So write down those runs, which is nothing but your x, and this is your summation x, and square the individual values, so you'll get your x square. So we need x square to calculate standard deviation. So the arithmetic mean formula is x bar is equal to summation x divided by n. So here n is 10 because there are 10 innings. So we will get x bar as 43.9. Now let us calculate the standard deviation. So we know for the raw data the standard deviation can be computed using the formula sigma is equal to square root of summation x square divided by small n minus summation x upon n whole square. So this term is nothing but your x bar again. So you have to square the x bar. You don't have to compute it once again if you have already computed. So substitute the values. So this is your summation x square. So summation x square divided by small n, which is 10, minus your x bar is 439 divided by 10, which is 43.9. So square it and then simplify it. So you will get standard deviation as 16.69. So let us calculate coefficient of variation, which is sigma divided by x bar into 100. So sigma is 16.69 into 100 divided by x bar is 43.9. So we got CV as 38.02%. So we had seen coefficient of variation is expressed in terms of percentages. So for cricketer A, the coefficient of variation is 38.02 and the mean is 43.9. So now similarly calculate x bar, standard deviation and coefficient of variation for cricketer B in the same manner. That is, the given values are your x, find summation x, then find x square and then find summation x square, and then substitute it in the formulas. So for the arithmetic mean, we have x bar is equal to summation x upon n. So here summation x is 459 and n is 10. So x bar is 45.9. And then the standard deviation formula, so substitute and simplify. So your sigma is 33.52. So now you can substitute arithmetic mean and standard deviation in the formula of coefficient of variation, which is sigma divided by x bar into 100, and you will get the CV for cricketer B is 73.03%. So now it's time to compare the data. So for cricketer A, we got mean as 43.9, and for cricketer B, we got the mean as 45.9. And we have calculated coefficient of variation for both the cases. For cricketer A, it is 38.02%, and for cricketer B, it is 73.03. So the first sub question was to find out which of the two cricketers is a better scorer on average. So among these two mean values, check for the highest mean value, so which is nothing but 45.9. So we can say mean value of B is greater than mean value of A, therefore the cricketer B is a better scorer. So for the second sub question, to check who is more consistent, check for the value of coefficient of variation which is low. So we can see the CV of cricketer A is less than the CV of cricketer B. So we can say cricketer A is more consistent. So the next problem is, the following are the distributions of monthly pay of workers of two factories. So they have asked three sub questions. So the first sub question is, in which factory is total salary bill higher? The second sub question is, in which factory is average salary higher? And the third sub question is, in which factory is salary variation more? And the data is in terms of continuous data. So the pay scale is in terms of rupees, and the first class interval is rupees 400 to 600, 600 to 800, up to 1200 to 1400. So they have given two data sets, that is factory A and factory B. So the monthly pay of workers for factory A and factory B are given. So first let us find out arithmetic mean and standard deviation for factory A, and then we'll calculate x bar and sigma for factory B. So we know these are continuous data. So first step would be to calculate the mid values, that is 600 plus 400 divided by 2, you'll get it as 500. Similarly calculate mid values for all the class, and then so this is a continuous type of data. We can take the step deviation method, or even you can go for the normal, that is the direct method. It is your choice. So here we have taken step deviation method so that we can reduce the calculations, and u is equal to x minus a divided by c. Here a we have taken it as 500, and c, that is the difference or the width of the class, which is 200. So your c value is 200. So we know x is the mid values. So 500 minus 500 is 0. Similarly 700 minus 500 is 200. So 200 divided by 200, we will get 1. So similarly calculate u values for all the data. So the next step would be, for factory A, we have F as, that is frequency 4, 18, 25, 2 and 1, and they have already given capital N for factory A, which is 50. So then we require in the formulas of sigma and x bar, Fu and Fu square. So Fu is nothing but multiply F into U, that is 4 into 0 is 0, 1 into 18 is 18. Similarly calculate for all the values. and then fu square, that is square these values. So 0 square will be again 0, then 1 square into f, which is 18, and for this it is 2 square, which is 4, 4 into 25, which is 100. So similarly calculate for all the values. So similarly for factory B, you calculate f, fu and fu square. So these two remains the same for both factory A and factory B. So because these are based on the class. So for factory B, the f values are 10, 20, 42, 18 and 10, and capital N is 100. So you have f values, you have u values. So we can calculate fu and fu square values. And these are the summation values. So the summation fu is 78 for factory A, and summation fu square is 152. So similarly these are fu and fu square summation values for factory B. So now it's time to substitute all the values in the formulas. So for the arithmetic mean, whenever you take the deviation method, the formula changes. So here x bar in the usual case was summation fx divided by capital N. So in place of x, we are taking the step deviation, which is nothing but u. So what you have to do is formula, whatever you have taken a, so the formula is a plus c into summation fu divided by capital N. So we know a is 500, so this value, and c is 200, and summation fu, so we are calculating for factory A. So check in the table the summation fu value, which is 78. So remember the formula for arithmetic mean is this. So is this in case of step deviation method, and in case of normal direct method, the formula is summation fx upon n. So if you are going for step deviation method, you can use this formula, or you can make an extra column which is summation fx. You have x values and you have f values, so multiply and then add it, and you will get the value of x bar. So similarly for factory B, you can calculate summation f into x and substitute for arithmetic mean. If not, you can directly use this formula. So substituting all the terms obtained, so x bar is equal to rupees 812. So now let us substitute the formula for standard deviation. So whenever we take step deviation, we know standard deviation is dependent on the change of scale. So we are multiplying the scale. So the formula is c into square root of summation fu square divided by n minus summation fu divided by n whole square. So if you were taking the direct method, this was not supposed to be written, and in place of u it will be x, and even in the table instead of this one column you will be having directly x, fx and fx square. So these methods we had seen in our previous class. So now we have taken step deviation method, so we are going to use this formula. So c is 200 and summation fu square for factory A is 152, and we know capital N is 50. So 152 divided by 50 minus 78 divided by 50 whole square, and you have to take square root of it and multiply with c, that is 200. So you will get the standard deviation value as rupees 155.70. So this was for factory A. And the first sub question what they have asked is, in which factory is total salary bill higher? So to find total, that is summation fx is your total. So we know x bar is equal to summation fx divided by n. So to get this value we have to multiply n into x bar. So therefore the total salary bill for factory A is n into x bar. We have got the value of x bar and n value is 50 for factory A, therefore 50 into x bar, which is 40,600 rupees. And then we have to calculate coefficient of variation. So we have the value of standard deviation, we have the value of x bar. So CV is equal to sigma divided by x bar into 100, which is 155.70 into 100 divided by 812. So you'll get it as 19.17%. So note, you shouldn't write the unit of measurement as it is independent, but you have to write in terms of percentage. So we are done for factory A. Then similarly calculate everything for factory B, that is x bar is equal to A plus C into summation FU divided by capital N. A still remains the same, that is 500, C is also 200, and summation FU for factory B is 198. So 198 divided by 100 plus 500, when you do, you will get the answer as rupees 896, which is x bar, that is arithmetic mean of factory B. And then calculate standard deviation. So we'll get standard deviation as C into square root of summation FU square divided by N minus summation FU divided by N whole square. So when you substitute all the values, you will get it as rupees 217.22. So the total salary bill is N into x bar. We have N as 100. So 100 into x bar, we will get it as 89,600 rupees. Now let us calculate coefficient of variation, which is sigma divided by x bar into 100. So substitute all the values and simplify, you will get it as 24.24%. So what we have got is, we have got the standard deviation, arithmetic mean, and total salary bill, and coefficient of variation for both factory A and factory B. So now let us compare factory A and factory B. So the first sub question was to find who pays higher salary bill. So for factory A, the total salary bill which we had calculated was rupees 40,600, and for factory B it was 89,600. So we can see 89,600 is greater than 40,600, so therefore factory B pays higher salary bill. So the next sub question was who has higher mean salary, that is we have to check for the value of x bar. So here x bar for factory A is 812 and for factory B it is 896. So therefore mean salary is higher again for factory B. So the next sub question is we have to see salary variation. So we can check for coefficient of variation. For factory A it is 19.17% and for factory B it is 24.24. So we can see again in this case the coefficient of variation is more for factory B. Therefore we can say salary variation is higher in factory B. But if they had asked which is more uniform or which factory has a uniform salary, then we would have said factory A because it has lower coefficient of variation value. So this is how you interpret a given data. So note, if you are confused with the step deviation method and the formulas to be taken, you can even go for direct method with the same formulas which we had seen in the previous class. That is, for arithmetic mean it will be summation fx divided by capital N for the continuous data, and for sigma we can use square root of summation fx square divided by capital N minus summation fx divided by n whole square. So it's up to you. So let us see the next question. So these types of questions will be asked for your case studies. So the question is, the following data relates to the salary of workers of two factories. So they have given factory A and factory B, and they have already computed the values of arithmetic mean and standard deviation. So let us see what are those values. So for factory A, number of workers is 80, and for factory B, the number of workers are 110, and the arithmetic mean is rupees 2320 for factory A, and for factory B it is 2160, and standard deviation is rupees 120, and for factory B it is rupees 122. So what all sub questions they have asked us: in which factory is the total expenditure on salary more? The next sub question is, in which factory the average salary of workers more, and in which factory is variation in salary more? So these are an easy problem. All you have to do is substitute the given values in the formula of coefficient of variation and then compare. So this is your n1, and this is your n2, and this is your x1 bar, and this is your x2 bar, and this is sigma 1, and this is sigma 2, or you can say A and B in case of suffix 1 and 2. So you have all these values. So let us see for factory A, the total expenditure on salary is, we know the formula is n into x bar. We have n values, which is 80 for factory A, and x bar is rupees 2320. So total expenditure on salary is 1,85,600 for factory A. And let us calculate coefficient of variation, which is standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. So here standard deviation for factory A it is 120 into 100 divided by 2320. So we'll get coefficient of variation as 5.17%. So similarly calculate for factory B. The total expenditure on salary is n into x bar. The n value is 110 and x bar is 2160. So we will get 2,37,600 rupees as total expenditure for salary on salary for factory B. So now substitute sigma and x bar in the formula of coefficient of variation and calculate. So CV of factory B is 5.65%. So now let us compare and interpret the results. So for factory A and factory B, and what are your conclusions? You can write it as comments. So the first sub question was, who pays more total salary? So we have obtained for factory A as 1,85,600, and for factory B it is 2,37,600. So obviously we can say factory B spends more than factory A for total salary. So the next sub question asked was for average salary. So you have to write it as x bar. So x bar is already directly given. So average salary you have to interpret in terms of x bar. For factory A it is 2320, and for factory B it is 2160. So you can see on an average factory A is more than factory B. So average salary is high for factory A. And then the last question was, which has more variation in salary? So check for the value which is higher in terms of coefficient of variation. So 5.65 is obviously greater than 5.17. So we can say salary variation is more in factory B. So that is why we can see even the average salary we have higher value for factory A, but the mean value is less for factory B because there is more variation. And also in the question they may ask even which factory has less variation. So at that time you have to check for the coefficient of variation which has a lower value. So carefully read the question and carefully write the comments. So it is all based on your comparison and also it is based on your comments. So these types of question will be asked for 15 marks as case studies. So make sure you will write all the formulas properly and then you will write a correct comments. So the next question is, in a data n is equal to 72, summation x is equal to 713.4 and summation x square is 9047.34. Find the coefficient of variation. So again they have calculated most of the values. So all you have to do is you have to substitute in the formulas. So to calculate coefficient of variation we need sigma and x bar. So for a given data we can calculate x bar as summation x upon n. So we have value of summation x, we have value of n. So just substitute. So therefore we get x bar as 9.9083. So for a given data we can calculate standard deviation as square root of summation x square divided by n minus summation x divided by n whole square. So we have all the required data, substitute them and then simplify. So you will get sigma as 5.2424. And then they have asked to find out coefficient of variation, which is standard deviation divided by arithmetic mean into 100. So again substitute the values. So you'll get the CV as 52.91%. So let's see how they can ask the CV questions in other format. So the first sub question is, they have given if coefficient of variation is 22% and standard deviation is 4, then you have to find out the mean. And in second sub question they have given the value of coefficient of variation as 5.3% and they have given mean value as 126. You have to find out the standard deviation. So these are easy problems. They may ask for 2 marks also. So write the formula of coefficient of variation, which is sigma divided by x bar into 100. So whatever values are given, substitute those values. So here CV is 22 and standard deviation, SD is nothing but standard deviation, which is sigma. So substitute in place of sigma as 4 into 100 divided by x bar. So they have asked us to find the mean, that is the value of x bar. So x bar is equal to 4 into 100 divided by 22. So we get the mean value as 18.182. So in the second question they have given the value of CV and the value of mean and you have to calculate SD. So CV is 5.3 and mean is 126. So 5.3 into 126 divided by 100 gives your standard deviation value, which is 6.678. So with this we complete the concept of coefficient of variation. We have solved almost all type of problems related to coefficient of variation and standard deviation. So go through this topic and if you have any doubts, please clarify those doubts. Also don't get confused with all the formulas. So whichever formula you are comfortable with, you can use those formulas. So I suggest you guys to maintain a book in which you can write only the formulas so that it will be easy for you to read those formulas and it will be easy for you for your examinations also. So try to work out as many problems as you can. So in the next video we will see the last topic of third unit, that is skewness. So that's it for today's class. Thank you.